Excited about opening up tomorrow. Playing a Lincoln Memorial team that has averaged 27 wins over the last several years. They're currently ranked #2 in Division II, and last year the 11th ranked Barry team came in here and beat us. So they're not as good as they were a year ago. They had just to tell you how good Division II basketball is, and I don't mind bragging on it because I spent 9 years in it. They had their best player, Emmanuel Terry, who's actually from, I think, Cleveland, Alabama. And he had signed there before I got the job. He was 6'6", about 180 pounds coming out of high school, and he finished up 6'9", 230. He's with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. And so he was a great player for them a year ago. But they're still preseason #2. They play fast. They're extremely well coached. I've known Josh Schertz for a number of years when I was at Tennessee. A great friend of mine, Pete DeBusk, from up in Tennessee, has done a lot to develop the Lincoln Memorial University up there. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus up in Tazewell, Tennessee. And so they'll bring a good team. And I think the biggest thing is a team that that they don't taste losing. I mean, they were 32-2 last year. They've won 30 games in 4 consecutive years. So it's good. They run good stuff. It'll be hard to guard. Probably play 4 guards most of the time. I would think their guards will be challenging. I think where we would have the advantage would be on the front line. Injury update. Samir is getting closer. Austin's getting closer, but neither one have practiced yet. And typically what I do is first of all, the trainers and the student athletes decide when they're ready. Neither one will play Friday. Typically what I do is if you're not able to go through a contact practice prior to a contest, then you probably should not play. And so we'll probably, the next contact practice we would have is Sunday. So if either Austin or Samir, with Samir being the closest to being ready, if they could go through a contact practice this Sunday, they could be available for the home opener against South Alabama, but at this point they're both doubtful. We've had a good week of practice, and you can see that we're getting a little closer to the season in the sense that the guys are paying a little closer attention to detail. We did have a closed scrimmage last Saturday, and the things I asked the players about, and I agreed with them as they evaluated a few things. 1, I thought the effort and energy was good. 2, I thought we played unselfishly, made a lot of extra passes. And 3, I thought we had some good understanding of at least what we're supposed to do. I'm not sure if we meet again before the South Alabama.
Probably Monday.
All right, we'll meet on Monday.
Bruce, having those closed scrimmages, how important is that to get a taste of another team before you actually get on the court?
Well, I think, but at this point the guys are sick and tired of banging against each other, and that's first and foremost. Second thing is, we know our stuff. So sometimes guys don't play by the rules; they'll play the plays and don't play by the concepts. And so when you play another opponent that runs different actions, then you tap into your concepts gets challenged and adjustments need to be made. You want the best early test that you could possibly get. And again, I thought last year, the fact that Barry came in and beat us and exposed some things that we needed to improve on was really important. And it helped us. So that when we went down to Charleston and lost to Temple and won 2 games down there, it just helped us. It just helped us get better. So we'll see. Tough for the preseason because South Alabama next week is going to be really good, and obviously Washington a week from Friday is a top 25 team that that beat the doors off of Nevada in a private scrimmage early, and Nevada's ranked 4th in the country. So we're gonna find out where we're at right now. I think the big challenge would be simply this: if we do get Samir and Austin back in the next week or two, okay, what does that do? It's great to have them back, but it also they've been out a while, and so how quickly can they adjust? How quickly can we adjust? How quickly can they get in shape? How quickly can they learn back to what we're doing? It's almost like 4 or 5 weeks of practice time is gone for them. So there'll be a period in the early season where we'll get acclimated. Unfortunately, that period includes South Alabama, Washington, Maui.
Are you confident that you'll get both of them back before you go to Maui?
I am.
Going off that a little bit, I mean, I know at the beginning of the fall you wanted to, players said they wanted to get their roles more explicitly, laid out. How much is Samir being out, Austin being out, challenge that?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it does, in the sense that we, like, for example, I think a little less of Samir, because we've had, Samir's been a little shorter being out, but Austin, we're going to, while our style will still be the same, we'll still play fast. Anthony and Austin are 2 completely different centers, and they'll do things differently. And so our ability to play with Austin and what he does, we haven't had that experience for 5 weeks. And the first time we'll have that experience could be against a pretty good team.
Is Miles Parker somebody we might see play tomorrow night?
Yeah, Miles played some on last weekend, and he'd be a little bit of a deer in headlights out there. And the funny thing is, it's just like he has the ability completely, and I'm really glad he's here. And he's going to be a really good player. He'll play at Auburn. He will, not just because we're down to 7 or 8 scholarship guys. He'll play. It's just that offensively, defensively, you're 20% of the package. You're cutting, you're screening, you're moving, you're spacing, affects the other 4 guys you're out there offensively and defensively. So it's knowing what to do. It's just enormous. It's kind of like, I guess, we're in football country, so I guess I would maybe equate it to the way an offensive line has to work with assignments, or maybe the defensive backfield and pass defense. I mean, it's all about every one of those guys knowing where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there. And if there's a breakdown because of a lack of practice or experience, it's a challenge. This is something that you may not be aware of. D'Angelo Purifoy will play in the exhibition games. He is eligible to play in the exhibition, and he has to sit at this point the first 9 games. And so we'll get a look at D'Angelo tomorrow night.
What are you expecting to see from him, just given it's been a while since he's been in an actual game-like situation?
I mean, he's going to be, you'll see the same things. You'll see his ability to shoot the ball. You'll see his offensive patience, and, his tempo is really good. You'll see a little rust, because it's been a year since he's played. I wish we could have him for the first 9 games.
I know you can't talk specifically about the scrimmage, but what did you learn about your team coming out of that?
The 3 things that the kids talked about was, and I agreed with them, I thought we had really good effort and energy. I thought we played unselfishly, and I thought they, at least in that scrimmage, had an understanding of at least what we're trying to do, not that they always did it. So I think we'll learn a lot more South Alabama and Washington than we were able to learn on Saturday.
Very good.